Hey guys, it's Bree. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your week. I got home last night from WorldCon just in time to watch the actual Hugos after I went and got some ramen with my boyfriend, and I'm feeling real good. This is just a quick second to say that if you are here for the book haul, it starts at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I went to WorldCon and it was quite a flight. It's something like almost 4 hours by plane from Minneapolis to San Jose. And when I got there, I was really excited because, hey, I get to see all my friends. I was lucky enough to room with Kelsey from Fancy Hat Lady Reads, Rachel from Kalanadi, and Claire from Claire Rousseau. I realized I have not done a room tour. This is my bed. I'm sharing it with Claire. Say hi, Claire.
Hello.
And this is Rachel, and Rachel is sharing her bed with Kelsey. Hi. And this is our fridge.
And this is our bottle of wine.
And this is our bottle of wine. You can decide which one is more important. I'll give you a hint. It's not the fridge. And I've actually roomed with Claire and Rachel before, and Rachel and I think at this point we've met up almost every 8 or 9 months for like 5 years now. It's been a while, 4 years maybe is closer. And we had already roomed together at the previous American WorldCon, which was Mid-Americon, not last year, but the year before. I roomed with Claire at Helsinki, and so the only newbie to our group really was Kelsey, and she is fantastic and adorable, and I loved getting to meet and know her. When I was there, I got to go to a lot of different panels, and some of them were really great.
And non-theme anthologies are much harder to sell than theme anthologies. So basically, when I'm trying to sell an anthology, I'll try to come up with some theme, overarching theme that I'm interested in, and that counts for reprint anthologies and original anthologies.
Like if people want to learn something from this, how many folks are here because you want to do the right thing but you feel insecure and you're not sure of the right way to handle situations?
I went to a panel on Mexican female horror writers that like blew my mind. It was so good. There were some logistical problems at the con, mostly that there was not a ton of space in things like reading rooms. For instance, they did a Joe Walton reading in a room that was set up for like 40 people. That didn't have a chair for her and didn't have a mic, and that was just kind of like, what? But overall, I had a really fantastic time, and it was great to get to see everyone. We went out to dinner like every night. We got to go to a couple of room parties, at least I did with Claire, and it was just fun to get to go like book shopping and to meet people, and some of you guys came and said hi to me, which was amazing and totally made my day. One of the things that was really important for me when I went to the con was to kind of get to know fandom. I know why I love science fiction and fantasy, and so I asked a couple of people why they love science fiction and fantasy, and I'm going to take a quick moment to share their answers with you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Lassen. I'm with Borderlands Books. We're a bookstore in San Francisco on Valencia Street. This is my 8th WorldCon, I believe. This is my 2nd WorldCon in San Jose, so that's pretty cool to come back here and do that. I've been working at Borderlands for over 20 years now. I was the first employee, and so I've been chained behind the counter selling books at Borderlands for 20 years, and then another 5 years before that down at Mysterious Galaxy in San Diego. So I've had the pleasure of being a science fiction bookseller for 25 years. I have literally seen every science fiction book published in America in the last 25 years. So I'm way too much dorky information about science fiction.
Awesome. So what do you enjoy about science fiction?
One of the things I love most about science fiction is how incredibly subversive it is. Much like Sunday comics and other quote-unquote low forms of entertainment, authors are allowed to get away with things because it's, you know, lowbrow entertainment, people aren't paying attention, and there's oftentimes radically subversive ideas embedded in the literature, whether it be Ursula Le Guin or Samuel Delany back in the New Wave movement or the early feminist science fiction movements. Up until now, there's just really incredible writers able to get away with really incredible stuff because it's not being like monitored by the gatekeepers of what's socially acceptable.
I remind me something.
Okay, so what is your name?
Oh, my name is Yorong Yang, and just call me Yang.
Okay, and you're here with what organization?
Oh, I'm here with the Sci-Fi World, the largest sci-fi magazine in China.
Okay. And what do you love about science fiction?
Well, I have read the science fiction since I was like little kid. When I was in elementary school, I have read the Chinese science fiction world, this magazine.
Okay.
When I was a child, and I continued reading, and now I'm come to US for study, and I'm still reading the science fiction magazine.
Ah, very cool. And can you tell us about the bid for 2023?
Yeah, actually we're bidding for WorldCon in 2023 in Chengdu. Chengdu is the fourth largest city in China, and it's right in the middle of China, and we're welcome to all the people in the world to come to Chengdu.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Alok. I live in San Francisco.
Okay, and this is your first WorldCon.
Absolutely, this has been a completely joyous occasion for me. It's like I've found my people.
Great. And why don't you just tell me real quick why you enjoy science fiction and fantasy?
For two reasons. Like, you know, as I work in technology, and so as we build new things, it's great to see what other people have dreamt of and have a goalpost to go towards and building a better future. At the same time, like, you know, it gives me great joy to read these things and, like, you know, associate with people who are more forward thinking.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Claire, and I run a YouTube channel about books and nerdy things, and also a podcast about Spanish things.
Lovely. And Claire, what do you love about science fiction and fantasy?
There are many, many things. The real world is very much like depressing and sometimes boring and anger-inducing, you know, all in turns, and I like being able to imagine other worlds, and, you know, like, I'm really fond of social sci-fi in general, like sci-fi that looks at different ways in which the world might work, and or like how aliens run their worlds, things like that. I also really like a good magic system because witches are cool.
One of the really lovely things about science fiction and fantasy fandom is that people are really hopeful. I find this to be true in a lot of different cases, that people go to science fiction and fantasy because they want a future that is better than what they see in reality now. And I think that's beautiful. One of these days I'll have to do an entire video on why I love science fiction and fantasy, because I think I could go on for days. When I was at Con, I did get some stuff. I got a piece of art. This was from the art show. It's actually a print of a piece that was done on this really cool hexagonal canvas that, if you look really closely, it's like you can see an astronaut kind of falling into this like swirly space with a planet. And the perspective on it is awesome. Like, it kind of looks like you're looking up at him from up here. And all I could think was how cool it would be to get the original and put it like above a guest bed. But I did not have the money for that, so I settled for the print. And then I also got a ton of books. I finished some reading on the way there, and of course, you can't go to WorldCon without picking up some books. I tried to pick up things that I mostly couldn't get around me. The two exceptions to the like can't get it here rule were Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowanhorse, which I just haven't read yet. You can kind of see how cool this looks in the light with its like holographic cover. And then I got American Hippo. This is the bind up of River of Teeth, Taste of Marrow, and a couple of short stories in her novella series universe. And actually Sarah Gailey was there. She looks like a punk rock princess assassin. She's gorgeous. And she signed my book which was lovely of her. I'm in love with her, guys. I'm in love with her. And I got to actually hear her read from River of Teeth. It was amazing to hear her like do accents and to kind of get into the part, to really hear the way she hears the story in her head. I think that's a really cool, valuable thing about readings. I got a copy of 3 Messages and a Warning. This is a short story collection of Mexican spec fic. I picked it up because a couple of the authors in here were mentioned on that female Mexican horror writers panel, and I really wanted to read them and get a really good sense of kind of the darker side of horror as far as it's portrayed in Mexican literature. And I won't lie, I'm super, super stoked to read this. Also, you can maybe see this now, but those are skeletons with monarch butterfly wings. This is so cool. This is super cool. It caught my eye, and then I went to the actual panel, and Rachel and I came out of it both like brains exploding. So I went straight to Borderlands Books, which was there, and I picked this up. I picked up 4 books at PM Press. I picked up Sisters of the Revolution. This is an anthology of speculative feminist fiction, and this was actually recommended to me by Rachel. It is compiled and edited by Anne and Jeff Vandermeer. I'm really looking forward to it because the lineup in this is pretty stellar. And then I picked up the Outspoken Authors series. I picked up the one for Samuel Delaney, and I picked up one for Ursula Le Guin. I really wanted the Rachel Pollack one. I know Rachel did too, and she knows I love Rachel Pollack. But Rachel Pollack's version is not out until September, so holding off on that. And then I picked up, because they had on deal a buy 3 get 1 free, Lonely Hearts Killer. I don't actually know a ton about this, but it seemed pretty interesting. It's about a young emperor passing away, and then the only person to succeed after him is his sister. And then the last books I got were all from the Haikasoru booth, which was the cutest thing. I'm gonna pause the kind of book haul portion of this to tell you the most adorable part of this, which is that Taiyo Fuji knew who Rachel was, and as Rachel was walking up the entire aisle, we all were walking as like a group, all of the booktubers, and we all just heard this like, Rachel! And then proceeded to watch the 2 of them geek out that like they both were there and they were meeting in real life. It was adorable and fantastic, and totally made like the entire first day of con. I picked up Orbital Cloud. This is by Taiyo Fuji. And then Sisyphean. This is supposed to be a really trippy book. I don't know that it's told chronologically, so we'll see. It's got really good reviews. I picked up Goth. This seemed a little bit more of a horror bent. There was a lot of horror-ish stuff going on at WorldCon this year, and I kind of dig it. And then then this was a little freebie collection of 3 short stories that came along with anything you bought at the booth. Speaking of horror, the other highlight for me was getting to go see the Winchester Mystery Mansion. The only downside is that we didn't get to go on a Friday the 13th or Halloween when they do candlelight tours of the house, but we got to see all of the like staircases to nowhere and doors that like fall off the side of the house and all of the super cool stuff that was going on in the Winchester Mansion. I really would like to go back. Our tour guide, it was her first time giving a tour, and you could kind of tell she was very nervous. I'd love to go back and get just kind of somebody who's been around for a couple of years giving a tour, and maybe they have an extended tour where you get to go to the basement, which sounds super creepy and I love. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Let me know if there are anything in this book haul that you want me to read. I'm really looking forward to like all of them. I think right now I'm just going to focus on trying to finish In Other Lands by Sarah Reese Brennan, which is one of the ones I didn't finish for the Lodestar Award. And I don't know, I'm going to hope to have a really good week. And I hope you have a really good week. Let's go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, all that nonsense. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.